Hi everyone, welcome back to Algebra 3. Today we're going to be covering the assignment information or the lesson about the assignment 5.4 transformation of functions. So what this lesson is about, it's how to shift a function to the left, to the right, up, down, how to reflect it across the x-axis or y-axis, and then also how to stretch and shrink the function. So let's get started. There are two sections in your assignment. The first, and I'm trying to clear the ink from the page here. There we go. The first is more of a discovery, like yes and check kind of thing. And then the second is where you actually put what you discovered in the first to work. So we'll go over it. So in the first section, you'll notice that there is a solid black function, and we want to make our solid black function match the dotted line. So the idea is that you're going to change these values or signs and use those to make them match. So the model they're following here is we have our basic parent function or whatever function we have f of x. And we're going to do different things to that function. So we'll say like there's maybe a number out in front, a times f of x. Let me silence this so we don't hear those dings. There you go. So a times f of x. Now that x could be a positive or a negative. Minus, and then an h. Actually, they have a plus here. So plus h, and then plus another number on the outside. Oops. And then there could be a sign in front of that x. So there are four different things you're going to be adjusting to see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to adjust is this first option. It says either make this positive or negative. Well, right now it's positive. Let's see what happens if I shift it negative. Oh, negative would mean we reflect across the x-axis. So I'm going to write that down. A negative a is going to be a reflection. Reflection across the x-axis. Okay, then let's see what happens if I change this, which is the number in front of that x. Doesn't really look like it did anything, but what it's really doing is it's reflecting across the y-axis. So a negative, we'll just write it like this. A negative x will reflect across the y. Now the reason it doesn't look like you're seeing anything right now is because if I reflect this graph across the y-axis, it really just gives me the same picture all again. So reflect across the y. Then there's a place for me to type in a number. So I can either type a positive number or a negative number. So let's see what happens if I type in a +1. Went to the left. Okay, 2. Went to the left 2 from its original spot. Okay, back to where it was. What if we type in negative numbers? Goes to the right. Okay, but I don't want it to go left or right, so I'm going to change that back to a 0. Okay, so what that h does, h is the horizontal shift. If you have a positive h value, it's going to shift to the left. Negative h is going to shift to the right. But I don't need this to go, I just need to go down. So it has to be this number right here. So let's see what happens if I change it to a 2. The graph went up 2. Okay, well, what about negative 2? The graph went down 2. So the K is the vertical shift. Okay, so I have a positive K is a shift up. Negative K is a shift down. And then once you have the two graphs to match, it says you're correct. You may now press submit. So I will go press submit. And I'll have my answer. So let's try another one. You got 5 of them you have to do. This time I have parabolas. Now let's see. It looks like I need to make this go down some. So I want to go down. So I'm going to change this number at the end. It's a number that's outside the parentheses. So let's see. It was at 0. I want it to go down 4. So let's change it to a negative 4. Hey, that's all I had to do. Submit that. There we go. Let's do one more. Okay, this one. Does need to go down. So let's shift it down maybe 3. And then it needs to go across, reflect across the y-axis. So I should make the x value negative. See if that works. Hey, there it is. All right, let's go back into that second section. In the second section, we have to pick. So I have to look at this and I have to figure out which function represents the dotted graph. So here's the parent function. I need it to shift down. I need it to shift from the solid graph to the dotted graph. Looks like I need to shift it to the right 2 and then down 2. So if I want it to go right 2, I need to do minus inside the parentheses. So minus inside the parentheses, minus 2, minus 2. So it's not this one. It's not that one. Okay? So that would go right 2. And then I need it to go down 2. So down would be minus K. So minus 2 outside the parentheses. Minus 2 right here. Ah, looks like I need to pick that one. So let's see. Correct. All right. Let's try a couple of these. Let me erase those marks. Okay, this one. Let's see. I like to look at the vertex. That's usually my point of reference. I want to move the vertex from 0, 0 to 2, 0. So I want to move it to the right. So I'm going to make the number inside the parentheses negative 2. So I want a negative 2 inside. Well, I don't have parentheses now. I have grouping symbols or absolute value signs. So absolute value bars act like parentheses. So I want minus 2 inside the absolute value bars. It's like that might be the only one. And then this negative out front would be a reflection across the x-axis. So let's see. Yes, that's correct. And then one more. All right, this time, erasing everything. Okay, I need a point of reference. So let's look at maybe the point at 0, 1. Maybe the other point will be right here. So it looks like it gets shifted down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 5 would be a negative 5 outside a grouping symbol or an exponent. Negative 5, yeah, right here, negative 5. That's the only one with that option. Let's try it. There we go. All right, so good luck with this section. If you need anything, contact me, click the Zoom link, and I'll be here to help you as always.